So I wanted to run this for a while and just, I mean, really abuse it. I'm cutting some Brazilian cherry, the stuff you see here. I've got some walnut that I've been cutting. I've been cutting some plywood. I've got some poplar. I've got some regular cherry. There's some pine. There's some cypress. There's some MDF. So I've been just cutting a whole bunch of stuff with this, and really, I didn't want to turn the drill off. And I mean, it's not even warm. I can sit here and put my hand on the metal housing and hold it there, and really, it might have raised the temperature a couple of degrees from room temperatures. It's not hot at all. So, you know, that's one of the things I wanted to try on this, was to really just spend some time beating it up a little bit and see how it performed, and it's doing good. So. That's quite a bit of sawdust. And that's what it looks like underneath. I'll take this apart and show you what I did. Okay, so all I have is this. I have 4 layers of plywood, 3/4 inch plywood glued together, and I created this block. And then in the block I have 2 machine bearings, or I'll pull these bearings out so you can see what I used. But they're a rimmed bearing that are typically used in conveyor systems for industrial application, and they're 1/2 inch ID. So I used a 1/2 inch thread awl. I put a coupler nut on the inside and a jam nut here, and then I just put 2 washers and a nut on the outside to hold the blade in place, and that seemed to work really well. Incidentally, I've been asked a couple of times what this wrench is. This is called a bionic wrench. I don't even know who makes it. The blade I use, and it was originally a 10mm blade that I drilled out to a 1/2 inch, and I got it a little bit off center, so that's why the bounce. When I put the threaded rod in, I did not put a lot of pressure on the bearings. I did preload them a little bit, but not a lot. So, and these are the style bearings I use. They're a machine bearing. They have a nice little rim on there, so I just drill out the hole the size of the housing here, and then that little rim sits right on top. And if you're in an application where you're gonna be able to bolt it from both sides, those are nice little kind of bearings to use. Still happy with the way this is working. So you guys saw how I set that up. It was just It was a simple test, you know, and I didn't get overly complicated with the machine. The blade obviously was a bit out of balance, and it had a little bit of a wobble to it, and I drilled the hole a little off, so it was bouncing up and down a little bit. The drill I'm using, in case you're curious about this drill, it is a D13VF Hitachi 9-amp 1/2 inch chuck. And I have been using this drill for 2 years now. I paid $69 for this brand new. And I have been beating the heck out of it. You guys have seen most of you have seen what I've done with this thing. You know, I've run this thing for 20 or 30 minutes straight on lathe, little makeshift lathes. I've used it for hundreds of dowels and handles on my table saw machine, or my table saw jig, and it's still going strong. It's not really showing any signs of weakening, and I'm going to keep using it. So we'll see how it does. But thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think. I'm really interested in the feedback. You know, a lot of people out there have some really good feedback for this kind of stuff, and I learn from it, and I read it. So, you know, I try to comment back as much as I can. Constructive criticism is perfectly okay. Just be polite. I certainly enjoy going back and forth, and it helps me learn things, and it helps perhaps somebody else learn things as well. So thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.